So guys, just quickly want to do this just to explain how this logic works. So for example, if you want to print a string in reverse order, firstly let's say we have this string, okay, and my name, that's the name of the string, okay. So this string, now we already know that the first element is this guy M and the last element is E. And if you start counting in array format, you know strings are a kind of array, you understand. So if you start counting 0 1 2 the space 3 4 5, see that the total elements in the array is actually what is 7, but the first element is what is index 0, but the length of the string, that is the total element, is what 7. All right, so now how do we make the last element to be what the first, that is this last element? How do you what set I, like our counter, to become this guy? So the logic is what we get the length of the string, that is 7, because at position of this guy E, his index is what 6, right? So after we get the length of the string 7, and then what do? We get the last element by doing what? Length of string minus 1, and that will give us 6. That means we have selected this guy as the first element. So the next thing is now what? From this position, instead of going forward, no, we want to go what? Backward. That is like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, until we get to what? The first element, which will become our last element in this case of reversing the string order. So we are going to say I, our counter, length of string minus 1, and this will give us what? This will set the first string, our counter, to become we set the last string to become last character, sorry, to become our first our counter, okay, first element. Now the logic would be what? Moving backwards from that position, just like we said, okay. So our string, and then this character, now from 6 we'll go back to 5 to 4 3 2 1, okay. So that will be what? Last element becomes the first, then we need to what? Move backward. So counter will be what? I at that position minus 1. So if I is 6, will be what? 6 minus 1 will get 5. If I is what? 5, 5 minus 1 will get what? 4. If I is what? 4, 4 minus 1 will get 3, like that till we get to 0. So the overall logic for the loop is what? We will say that while I, but the first thing we have to send what? Set I to become length of string minus what? I. So for example, if our character is what? Our variable is what? Name, then will be what? I will be equals to what? We'll use the string library from C. We'll say string length, okay, for name, okay, then what? We'll say minus what? 1. So in this case, our I has become what? The last element character. So then we'll now say while I from this point what is greater or equals to 0, because we are going back to 0. So why what? Of course 6 is greater than this, it will print 6. This is greater than this, it will print 5. The fourth character is greater than this, to print it up till it gets to what? 0 is equals to 0. So what? We print I at position of string. So that will be, then we'll decrement I. Then that will be what? Example, if you say put car name, that is printing I at position. So we say put car name, that is this guy, this name, the last element at that position, print it at that position. After what? You decrement, check condition, print, decrement, check condition, print. Okay, so that is just how the logic works. Yeah guys, it's just to make sure that we understand this thing. It's not like trying to just give us the direct answer, or that